Hey everyone, Dr. D here, bringing you the very first DDR podcast. This is the first time we're going to be trying this, so you're going to have to bear with us if there's any technical issues, sound quality, misrepresentations, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But I promise in the future we will try to make these a little more professional. But for the first one, let's just go with it and see how it winds up. And if you guys have any suggestions for either topics that you would like us to cover in a podcast, if you would like to join, there will be links in the description on how you can do that. Or if you have any general tips and advice to make this more presentable, as the case is, you are the audience, and what we care about the most is making it most presentable to you guys. We will absolutely try to accommodate that. But without further ado, we're just going to get started. And this first podcast, we're featuring two very prominent DDR prolific players who are number one in the world currently, and they're probably smiling and laughing right now because I'm making a joke. But they're definitely up and coming stars, and they are nice. They're nice people. You'll find out very shortly, except one of them. I won't say who it is, but definitely one of them's a little flaky if you ask me. Either way, they are my patrons on my Patreon, and they have selected a perk to be on a podcast. If you'd like to be on one in the future, links are again in the description. We have several topics we're going to be covering today, and they're listed on the podcast, I believe, and we're going to go in order, and we'll talk about our ideas and subjects about it. And also in the future, we might be doing these live, where we can get your live comments and feedback as it goes on. Now, who are we going to be talking to? The first one, his name is Ryan. He also goes by xRGTMx. I absolutely probably butchered that, and he will absolutely correct me when he comes on. And the other one is David, also known as Dgraham. Dgraham and Ryan have both been supporters for a long time, and I'm very proud to have them on the podcast today. And we're going to be talking about the topic. So let's get started with introductions. I feel that I need no more introduction, so let's welcome them on one by one. So everyone, put your hands together and let's say hello to, let's say, Dgraham. Dgraham, please unmute your microphone and say hello.
Hey yo, what's going on?
Hey,
Hey.
Dgraham. How about you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Anything that you'd like them to know?
What's going on, everybody? My name's DGraham. I'm on YouTube, and I've been a patron for Dr. D for maybe 2 months, and been paying him whatever the word is, for the longest time.
Yes,
And
that is true. He's been a patron only a couple months, but that doesn't mean that he's stopped smashing that donation button almost every stream.
yeah. By the way, don't worry, I have a job now, so I won't be
Fan.
doing. Anyway, and yeah, I play DDR on my channel. I love the game, and I'm happy to be on.
All right, put in a plug. Come on, where can we find you at?
Um, I guess what do you mean, like my links for like
Yeah,
YouTube?
what's your YouTube channel? If we were typing it into the search bar, how would we find you?
Just exactly as the name goes, you type in dgraham13, all one word, and my channel should be the first thing to pop up. If you're watching this just now, it'll probably be a picture of the character from the Jacket for A, but maybe not in the future. But anyway, that's how you'll find me.
All right, thank you, Dgraham. And Ryan, a quick introduction.
Guys, I'm Ryan, also known as xRGTMx. On Xenocide Vanisher, I've been a fan of DDR since 2000, actually. Playing that for quite a while.
It's even before me.
Dr. D since nearly the beginning of when he started accepting Patreon. His recent top 10 video where I just like jokingly smashed down a DDR, how it's not.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't know,
I guess I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
You might cut out just for a second, but yeah, Ryan is the person who was appearing in my last and newest DDR Top 10 Hardest Songs. And though we will not reveal which topic it is, me and Ryan are hard at work on the next Top 10, which should be released sometime after Project Idola wraps up. And in these
Yeah, you guys,
coming weeks,
you're gonna like it a lot. We're still working on
Yeah, we still got to make a script for
feedback
it,
from other players.
but we are also trying to get input from other players because your only hint is that this top 10 is not my expertise, which is why we are relying on feedback from other players to make sure that this top 10 is going to be accurate. Okay, so again, welcome Dgraham and welcome Ryan. I'll refer to you as Ryan and David or Dgraham. Dgraham, you prefer?
You can say David, I guess.
Okay, David and Ryan. So I'll be referring to you as them. You will be referring to me as your Lord and Savior, Dr. D. So now that we got the formalities out of the way, that was a joke. But okay, so the introductions are done, and since this is our first podcast and we have absolutely no preparation to signify that the introductions are out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and delete that off of the list. Now the next
Just take
topic,
it as we go.
So the first topic that all three of us are very interested to cover is the recent cut of the new generation songs in DDRA in the USA. And oh boy, do we have some opinions about this. Who would like to jump in and go
Sorry.
first? So there's probably a business meeting in Konami headquarters in Roppongi Hills, and they sat down and said, hey, you know, the United States players, the Western players, they're all taking our scores. They're wiping us off the leaderboards. What can we do? How can we take preventative measures to make sure that at least some Japanese players retain the top score on the songs? And of course, the head of Konami stood up and said, I got it. We're just not going to include some songs to the U.S. Do we all agree?
Some imports, and we'll gladly support this event, but nope.
Now, for people who are unfamiliar, this is actually not the first time that Konami has done this, even to DDRA in the USA. This is probably the biggest amount of songs that have been cut, but there has been two other instances recently where songs have not arrived over. Let's start it from the beginning. I believe that when DDRA was first released onto, obviously in the United States, there were several songs that were cut out. Some of the most notable were like Paranoia, KSKST, and can you guys help me? What were some of the other songs? I'm sure Ryan knows.
Zach. AKBK remix.
Yeah, Brilliant to You, AKBK.
Put Your Faith in Me, Dirty Androids remix.
Yeah.
And like Machine, the one that starts with an X.
Basically all those.
Yeah, Zach Cezanne.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there's plenty. Most of those appeared on DDRX3, and they did not make it over to the DDRA cabinets. So that was bad enough. Additionally, basically any song. Oh my God, what was it? What is it called? What's the company? The one that always copyright claims my videos.
EMI.
Which one?
EMI.
No, the other one. Happy Tunes are. Or is that
Exit Tunes.
Exit Tunes. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I'm just a player. I actually really don't follow a lot of the artists and companies and stuff like that. A lot of people always talk to me like I know everything. It's like, oh, did you hear the latest album of this? But I'm like, I don't even know. It's like, you play their songs. You've MFC'd their charts. I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
So, well, you're kind of like the forefront of creating. I'll go to you and say, oh, did you do that? And all. It's like you're.
Yeah,
I
but
feel sorry.
there's definitely a point where I just lose track of everything because I'm nearing 300 MFCs. I can't even remember all of them by this point, so it's pretty ridiculous. Like for example, this ties in perfectly to the new generation. Well, it doesn't tie in perfectly, but there's 3 songs that were announced that are also being cut next month on November 6th. Now the one is the.
What songs are those?
The one was Straight Jet, and the song was also the Roy's song, the Mimishta, whatever that is pronounced.
Oh, no, that's getting cut.
Yeah, that's getting cut along with Straight Jet.
I'm kind
and
of disappointed in that
one
because
more.
that has the best doubles shock chart. It's so ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the shock chart is pretty amazing, to be honest.
I remember saying like on one of your streams that I hated that song, but I listened to it again and I feel completely stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it grew on me. At first, like I thought it was some kind of like J-pop annoying, song. But the more and more I listened to it, the more and more I liked it. It was originally coming into DDR, I believe, on X3, or was it? No, no, it was until
Yeah, it was on
2013.
X3.
Yeah, I think it started on X3.
Yeah, it came in like the last cycle of songs on X3, and then Roy's became a kind of a staple artist in 2013 and 14. And now it looks like their songs are going away. So back to the new generation. It all started with the songs that we mentioned.
It's
about
they've been doing
cut.
that frequently. It's no surprise.
Yeah, so they cut it obviously from that point of, and three songs that I haven't seen a big outrage about these. There was three other songs that were cut 2 months ago, and actually I don't know any of them because I can't pronounce them because they're in Japanese, and I'm not exactly proficient in reading Japanese. But there's three other songs that were just Asia exclusive, and they were exit tunes. And you guys probably know them because you guys kept giving me warnings. They say, "Oh, don't play those; you'll get copyright claimed." Because they'll mute my whole video if I play those. There's three songs. What were they called?
Oh gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't do it. It's awful. No, you guys don't know it. It's got the banner is of the school boys. I guess they're sitting back to back.
That sounds. Is that like a 2014 song?
No, it just came out though, so I'm not sure if it was on something else before.
Oh, I know what song you're talking about. Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like the one with a piece of paper on his face.
Yeah, you mean Whack or?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't think it's him though, but it's definitely an extra two songs. Either way, I'm sure that the people at home watching this are like pulling their hair out because we are talking about this topic and we're not proficient on it. Which again, I'm just a player. I'm a robot. I see the arrows coming and I step. I don't really follow too much outside of that.
No, we have all
It
these
took me until
songs,
2013 to find out that Omega was really Naoki. Okay, so give me a break.
Yeah, I recently found that out like 2 months ago, and I was like, I was going crazy.
Yeah, like what? Omega's not really an artist. I can't just buy a ticket and go see his concert.
Like I found out that Z was Naoki Maeda, and I was just
Yeah, Naoki does everything.
I thought that the only person Naoki was like the name Naoki.
So many
like,
aliases.
All
Like,
love.
I do believe that he has the most aliases. Next to U1, I believe. U1 and Naoki have the most aliases.
variations. Any artist name.
Would be.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, so the songs were cut. It's not the first time, and I think it's not going to be the last time. So
Revival, though.
Let's talk about why do you think they were cut? Do you think this is a licensing thing, or could it possibly be something else?
I don't know because I'm
And with the songs from
Go ahead, Ryan.
Zach Naglides, those are actually licenses. From what I've heard, and it's like region locked.
So you're talking about the songs that
but I'm really salty about that because the KSKSC remix of Paranoia, that's my absolute favorite.
Oh,
I forgot that one was cut. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, was that one written by Naoki? I don't mean to go off tangent.
No, I believe it was written by 180, which is, yes, it is Naoki.
No, I mean,
Naoki's debut in Manning, so.
Yeah, I do believe it was him as well. And I love it because the artist for that song says 180.
But it was 190.
Yeah, but the BPM is 190.
That makes me
it's like it's a remix of Paranoia by 180, not.
Yeah, but the BPM is
like Paranoia Max, then it would be like 190, you know?
Yeah, it's confusing because the older Paranoias, they always did that, like STM 200 for like, Paranoia Eternal and that kind of stuff. Like it was clear in the title, in the artist, the BPM of the song, where that's like the only time that they broke it. It's hilarious.
I just gotta give props to Course K for creating the best
Yeah, that's absolutely my favorite Paranoia. There's been. Have you heard the full
Paranoia
version?
did
There
Course K,
is
right?
a full version. You guys know
It's
that, right?
KSKSC.
Wait, that was Course K?
is abbreviation for Kasuke Sato, his
Oh
real
shit!
name.
Yeah, see, this is something I didn't know, and I actually absolutely believe that. Yeah, that's for sure.
One
Probably
thing to bear in
now,
mind.
I think I can tell you that that's my favorite Chorus K song now. But
Mm.
yeah, that song
Mine's
gets me
so monkey
pumped.
business.
So we agree that what it's a licensing issue, or you were saying that the other ones were cut because of licensing, but could that possibly be the reason for these songs?
I
Now,
don't think so.
I think this is my opinion. I did not see anyone else talk about this. I think that the reason why they were cut is because the type of event requires you to play other Benami games. For example, to unlock the songs that I just got the songs yesterday when I went to the arcade. I had to play Sound Voltex. I had to play the songs on Sound Voltex first. Now,
Yeah, actually,
to
yeah.
be to be very clear, I don't believe that there's any Sound Voltex in America, at least legitimately. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm just
I
saying.
mean, unless you go to like the right round one, but like if you're going anywhere else, you won't find any Bimani games anywhere unless
Yeah.
it's
Probably more focused on having DDR in like select locations like Dave and Buster's and
yeah. And I know there aren't any Dave and Buster's that have anything except DGraham.
there's like gonna be more feedback in Japan and rest of Asia than there is in like North America for that event. So
Yeah. So that's actually what I was going to say. A lot of people are like really
it
shitting
still
on
drives us
Konami.
crazy.
And don't get me wrong, I mean, I take my chances to shit on Konami. I'm not supporting him one bit in this regard. However, I do think that the main reason why, if this is absolutely from my observation, but I do think the main reason why they're probably not including him is for the reason I just said. The event requires you to play other Benami games. And like I said, I played Sound Voltex, but I believe that U-Beat was also a viable option, and I wouldn't be surprised if Reflect Beat and those were also able to unlock them. And just since the access is even more scarce in America to play, because there's Dave and Buster's and Round One in America have DDR, but I don't think any of the Dave and Buster's have U-Beat or Sound Voltex. If I'm not, I mean, am I mistaken? I thought that's like a Round One exclusive, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that you won't find any Dave and Buster's with those games.
Okay, yeah. So from their standpoint, and most of the DDRA machines are at Dave and Buster's, and basically all those people would be screwed to be able to conveniently travel to get those. Which I don't know. I mean, like, there's definitely an argument to be made.
So many
like,
round one
even if
locations, and
there's not that many.
there's
way
much more
Dave
Dave and Buster's.
So, in my opinion, I believe they cut them for those reasons, but I haven't looked
I
into
agree
the
more
matter.
than anything.
I haven't looked at it in too deep to have a solid conclusion for it. But yeah, okay. Moving on. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the new generation songs? An obligatory hashtag fuck Konami, and we'll move on.
I've got nothing.
I think you laid out all the hashtags that we're subscribing to. So I think we're good here.
All right. So just to recap, the news story is that yes, there's at least how many songs is it? 6 songs or 7 songs? It's quite a bit. It's a handful for sure. But those songs were cut from the U.S. release. There's no official word that I know of for why they cut them, but it's left up to speculation. All right, so we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna delete this wonderful topic point if I can, and I believe I can. No, that's too much. There we go. And now we're moving on to Idola Round 3 predictions, and I'd love to hear 'em. There we go. I'm a stickler for organizing. So, Project Idola, we are in the 3rd week of the tournament.
Can't have it easy, can you? Can't have it easy, can you?
No, it's definitely getting progressively harder. But actually, it's also from the actual round standpoint, from a host point of view, it's actually getting easier and easier because there's just a lot less people to manage.
Yeah.
So you can imagine round one when I didn't even count it, but I do believe in total there was over 50 or 60 participants throughout the 3 different divisions, which was a pretty good turnout for a first-time tournament of this sort.
Surprised with the
And
success of Idola right now. It's like highly competitive. And when I put in my qualifying rounds, like I'll
you thought you had a chance, right?
find into the next round. It's so tight. Like even though my set was a PFC set, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. I mean, I was pretty surprised. Like,
It's-
after the
I
first
can't
week,
do that.
after the first week, I was thinking, I think maybe like a 15 perfect set, or maybe even like 15, around 15, they'll probably get you in the next round. Nope, it ended up being a 10 perfect set, right?
Something I can never do.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. I was quite surprised. So yeah, the competition has been getting more fierce as the rounds have been going on, and it's all culminating in the 3rd round. So for those of you who do not know, the 3rd round is technically the final, how should we say, qualifying round? Or, I mean, it's weird to say qualifying because, but basically we keep narrowing down the field until we get to the top 4. And this is the bubble. This, if you play poker, we're on the bubble now. Because only the top 4 are going to be eligible for a cash prize. Everyone else is only eligible for t-shirt. Sorry, not even top 4 gets t-shirts. The other are eligible for participation certificates and posters, and my congratulations. But if you want the goods, you gotta get in that top 4. And top 4 is shaping up to be a nightmare. Now, with just under a week into the 3rd round, it's really hard to tell how things are shaping up, especially for Upper Expert, where there's only been 1 submission. So it's a little hard to judge Upper Expert at the moment, but I think we have a better view of what doubles and what Lower Expert are going to end up being. So if you guys would like to share your thoughts on those, I'd love to hear them. And
I'm kind of glad.
I'm going to fill up the leaderboards
I'm
right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the leaderboards right now.
I'm going to try to show them here. Okay, you guys can see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, zoom in on that.
Okay, here we go. And let me see, is there an additional entry? Nope. Okay, so as we can see, here's the leaderboard. So in Lower Expert, we've already had 5 entries. We've had 1 entry in Upper Expert, and we've only had 3 entries in doubles. Let me be very clear. Number 3 spot, 0. He is one of the tournament organizers. And you're like, what? He didn't finish top 16, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course. I've been telling you guys this forever, but just no one's taking advantage of it. This tab is for all divisions. And whether or not you're top 16, if you submit, your name will come here. Now, if I go to the dedicated doubles bracket, you'll see his name is absent from here. The individual brackets are only reserved for people who are top 16. Or sorry, top 8. Did I keep saying 16? If your name is not, if your credential info when you're filling out the forms are not matching, your name will not appear here. And if you do want to submit, that's all fine. Just you will be on this board, the all-inclusive board. Okay, so like I said, we have 5 entries here out of 10 people. We allowed 3 people to finish in the top. Well, I don't even know where to start. How about you guys take over while I get my thoughts together?
For life, we're able to get an MFC in one of the songs, but I like how you, Derek, and 1-2P, and that is enough to get you in the lead. And how does that make you feel? Are you looking to really solidify your position, or are you just gonna just wait it out?
Any more would be just bragging rights at this point. To be honest, I doubt 4 individual people in this field are going to get 3 or better to knock me into 5th place. That is unlikely. Now, that's not saying it's unlikely that someone beats me. I could see Jeff or even Chris possibly getting a 2-3 piece set, which would shift me down to 3. But I strongly believe that 4 perfects is absolutely good enough to be in the top 4. And hell, it is also possible that at the end, that will be the top score.
And these songs are really hard to get up.
Yeah, they are absolutely a lot harder.
We have to focus on those BPM changes.
Yeah, especially with flow jam and reggae. As you guys know, there's two. It starts slowed down, and then there's 2 follow-up slowdowns with some tricky transitions between them. So flow is definitely the most challenging in a sense. However,
the old scale.
Personally, I've always had the most trouble with Centaur.
Centaur has like.
And by the way, for the record, the funny thing is my record on all of these songs are 1 perfect. Centaur, I got 2 in this round, but my record outside of this round is 1 perfect. So at least it's consistent. I mean, because my records are 1 across the board, and I got 1, 1, 2, so it's pretty consistent.
It's like these songs are like the definition of a East Coast FA.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely tricky. I mean, we all know that ITG is a lot more, I want to say, like, tricky-centric. But, yeah, they're definitely going to separate the wheat from the chaff.
You have to go to, like, the millisecond with rhythms.
Mm-hmm. Well, to 16 15 milliseconds? What is it? 16 milliseconds?
Whatever
it's like, 1 frame, so it's like 16.6666 repeating.
It's so tight knit, the timing.
So let's make some predictions right now. So right now we have, of course, the first, it goes 4, 5, 6 for first, second, third, and fourth. This is what we really got to look at. To be honest, I believe 6 perfects is fine. Chris and Jeff don't have to do anything. And by the way, Chris is obviously I'm Chris for life. Funga is Jeff, just in case that wasn't clear. I believe they don't even have to do anything, and they will make it into the top 4. There's really no advantage into getting top, first place or 4th place because you will advance.
There's pretty much like a battle for number 4 and maybe even number 3.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. Right now we have Malaysia, who is also goes by Gilbert. He is sitting at a solid 9 perfects, and then we got Pitaka at 12. So right now the cutoff is 9. And that means that even if someone ties 9 perfects, that's not good enough because Malaysia got it first. So the only way to get top 4 right now is to get 8 or better. And the question is, can any of these players manage to get 8 or better?
Yeah, that cap is just going to be smaller.
And the only person I know most...
It's not going to stay stagnant. It's going to be getting pretty tight. I think the person who has the best chance among all these people from 5 and below is Ginsiasu, how we pronounce that?
Yeah, Ginsiasu.
Yeah, but besides that, it's just a tight space, and I don't feel like there's going to be that much change from what it is now.
I'm going to call it right now. From my knowledge of
your position there in advancing is going to stay, but
I think that the lowest...
it's like I can't really put it like a solid prediction. It's like unpredictable to me.
I would say that I don't think that any other player currently is able to get 6 or better. I don't think anyone's going to touch the top 3. So the question to me is who can get 7 or 8? And I believe that Gilbert, Malaysia, he can improve his 9. And he should do it soon if he wants to guarantee his 4th place position. Because only by doing that is he going to be able to advance. Because it just takes one person to get 8 and he's out. Even if he gets 8 later, if someone got 8 before him, he's out. Now, from my knowledge of the players who have not submitted yet, the only players that I believe are able to take the top 4 would either be Jinx Yasu or PSV. I already talked to Spencer personally, and he said that he's basically given up. There's no way he's going to get 9. So he may or may not submit, but he's definitely I want to say disheartened to fight for the top 4. So we can leave him out. Lizzie, and I love her, and I do think that she's incredible. I don't know her enough on these tricky songs to know if she can cut it.
She's nuts.
And just giving it to like an average player, I would say that it's probably not good enough because it takes a special kind of player to be especially good at flow and centaur. Now, Jinx Yasu I know is good at centaur. I don't know if he is good at flow. Habibi is actually the most easiest song on here. The reason why I chose it is although it is easy, it's got a high combo. It's nearing 400 steps. So even though...
Wait, what level is it?
Yeah, straightforward doesn't always mean easy.
Like, how many steps is it?
It's like 387.
I mean, like what's... I mean, oh, sorry, I
It's a
meant, like,
13.
what's...
It's
Sure. Or it's a little longer than that.
It's a level 13.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how you can do on the other
13
two.
centaurs,
Because
a 12. Habibi is a 13.
Mhm. Yeah, we got 2 12s and a no, flow is also a 13, I believe, right? Or is it a 12? That is a 13. It should be at least. Hell, it could almost be a 14. Well, no, it's not exactly a 14.
I find it funny that it was initially rated an 8 on Supernova CS, and then
Yeah.
it bumped up to a 9 on the Supernova 2 release.
It was a level 9, just like freaking
Some people
paranoia.
just don't
Hades
understand how
experts.
hard a chart is. Egoism.
No, it's as bad as
that's
no,
my favorite
Supernova
7.
2 was the worst. Supernova 2 had the worst ratings because like what some songs that are level 15 now are rated 9s, like Paranoia.
You know what's
Hades,
the bigger
Expert.
rating for Supernova 2? I love Pluto. You go from standard down to challenge. They're all 10s. Pluto relinquish, I mean.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's like I
ridiculous.
love how. Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, can you pass the standard
all
chart
of-
of
It's
Pluto
a-
relinquish?
it-
Yeah, it's a 10. Oh, then you can do the challenge. It's also a 10.
It's like it's probably at that point we're just like, you know, yeah, we gotta change the rating system now.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
For
yeah,
Idola.
my money on making top 4. I'll just say this: it'll either be Gilbert or Jinx Yasu.
I have money on Jinx Yatsu.
I want to have money on Jinx Yasu, but I don't know. I think that's biased because he's one of the tournament organizers and he's my personal friend, so I don't want to. Well, it doesn't really matter.
I can't really say my.
All right.
You, Jeff, and Chris are definitely going to be up there.
Yeah,
That's
those
all I can
top
say.
3 spots are.
So,
they're
like I
staying
said,
there.
the whole thing right now is fighting for top 4, and it's just who's going to get to the 4th. The only 3 options I personally think is Malaysia, Gilbert, Jinx Yasu, or PSV. If anyone else gets top 4, I will be pleasantly surprised. I will be. If Taka gets it, or Spencer, or Lizzie, or Mr. Rio 2, I'll be pleasantly surprised. But right now, those are the only 3 people I think are capable of getting a top 4 spot.
Yeah. Much luck to all the players.
Yep. All right, now let's talk about expert. It's a very, very challenging.
Oh yeah, this seems to be stressing is good.
Yeah, except we have no information because only Gaho submitted, and he submitted strongly. Whether or not this is top 4 material is to be decided, but it's a strong set. It's definitely something that if I got this set, I would be happy. I mean, I know my limits. Just to start off with me, what I'm planning on doing.
Definitely see Chris and Fefems up in the top 4. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so let me throw you. I'm out for sure, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm hoping for a set where I can get basically what you see right now. If I can tie this, I will be incredibly happy. But I honestly see myself getting maybe 2 grades
PFC
less.
element of creation, have you?
No, I have not. My record on challenge is quite low, actually. I think I only got 992 on DDR 2014, I believe. But I never really visited it. This is definitely a good excuse for me to work on this 18. So at the very least, I plan on beating my previous record. So a 993,
It's a stamina trader.
It really comes down to my stamina. And my stamina has been quite low the past week. And so I'm going to try to get my stamina up and try to get something good submitted by next week. And Tohoku Evolved is definitely just a tricky chart. The BPM is only 340. I mean, it's comparable to Trim, but there's no denying that the kind of contorting that this song wants you to do really bumps up the difficulty. Keep in mind, back in 2013 I voted this to be my #1 PFC song back on DDR 2013.
But this song has some really tricky BPMs, in fact, and has the only BPM in DDR over 1.
You know what's funny? A lot of the
Yeah,
BPM
the bracket.
sorting, if you sort this in BPM on DDRA, this is actually sorted at 340 BPM. It's so dumb. Like 888, which really has no high BPM at all, is at the end of the BPM list, along with...
It's actually put at 88.
I don't know. I mean, there's arguments I've heard that it goes to 888 after the last note. And if it does, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. It is. Like, continue.
Yeah.
It goes over 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to get interested until I see a BPM over 9,000. So let's just talk about who's going to make top 4. So I'm going to put my money on Chris. Okay. I'm going to say Chris is going to... Oh, actually, I don't know who's going to be #1. I really don't. It's either Chris or FIFEM, so that's all I can tell you right now. Okay, I'm going to flip a coin real quick. You know what? I think that FIFEMs is going to make a statement. He's going to get #1. I'm calling it. FIFEM is #1.
How about Jeff?
And then I'm going to say Chris #2. And then I will say 3 and 4 is the tough one. I do believe it's the 3 people who are able to get 3 and 4 are Gaho, Jeff, and Kotasu. I don't believe any other player, including myself, are top 4 worthy, so to speak. Now I know that for the case of Jeff, I know that he's incredibly good at Tohoku Evolved and Elemental Creation. However, I'm not sure if he's able to string them together. I know that FIFEMs and Chris, I actually neither of them,
good contender.
They will not submit unless it's a PFC set. I believe that's why they're waiting.
Aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that they only got a week.
Like,
it's a tough one. The top 3 is going to be FIFEMs, Chris, and Jeff. And just like the lower expert, I can't predict who's going to be #4. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said.
If you're talking, you're definitely cutting out. Try it again.
Yeah.
Start again from the top right.
Too, like where exactly they're going to be, but they're going to be there. Chris and FIFEMs.
I have Chris and FIFEMs, and like we said, probably Jeff as well. And then #4, like I said, it could be Kotasu. I don't know if he... I know he's really good. I mean, that is Zero Wolf, if you don't know. He goes by like 3 different names. It's confusing. But I know he's extremely good. He's definitely PFC'd some 18s, and I think that Elemental Creation is one of the 18s he's PFC'd. The reason why I like this tournament format so much is that it doesn't really matter if you've PFC'd a song or not, because what matters is your consistency about it. So, oh yeah, you got the world record on Elemental Creation. Oh, well, can you get it again while getting these 2 songs good too? You know? Yeah. It's a consistency factor. And that's why I like this format a lot.
Like endurance a lot into it as well.
And then, but then again, I give you an extra chance. Oh, but you can't, you know, oh, you can't do it in 3 songs? Okay, I'll give you 1 mulligan. You get 1 mulligan. You can redo one of the songs for a better score. So it's a really cool kind of, you know, it's definitely
even fair? Isn't that even fair, though?
I think that's extremely fair, to be honest. Like, you don't demand it all. Like, you get 1 mulligan. You get 1 retry. It can be any song you want. We'll just take the highest score. It really adds a level of competitive nature. I know that I love playing around my head, like, oh, maybe next time I should try this song first because, you know, I need to work on this. I want 2 chances on this one, or, you know, maybe I should get this one out of the way. It really adds a level of competitiveness that I absolutely love. Okay, so who do you think is going to be #4? We keep talking about #1, 2, and 3. David, who's going to be first, or who's going to be number 4?
For Alpha Expert, you mean?
Yeah.
Number 4, I think I'm sort of on the same page. I think it's going to be Katesu.
And Ryan. Ryan, you there, Ryan?
I'm probably gonna go on the bandwagon and say Katesu as well.
All right, Katasu, do not let us down. We are rooting for you. All right, let's wrap it up with doubles. Doubles is an interesting game. Now we already have two I'm going to be very clear. The two people who have submitted incredible sets so far.
Yeah.
And if you didn't see,
Doubles
Takasuke,
accomplishments.
he just submitted his score a few hours ago, and it's basically a PFC set. I say basically because technically his possession got 1 great, but he had a very good perfect count where he still broke the 999 barrier. Let me show you the submitting form. This is the form that I used. So there we go. There's some graphics for you. And it's funny because, in my opinion, Windy Fairy is absolutely the easiest song. So he used his second chance on Windy Fairy. And he nailed Idola and even Possession. Because Possession is really retarded. I'm not sure if you guys played doubles, but...
But is it 18?
Expert and challenge, and they're equally.
I know the challenge one is a 19.
No, the possession expert is still a 17. It better be, otherwise he chose a song that is not allowed because the limits were 14 through 17. But I think hands down it's probably the hardest 17, next to maybe Fascination Eternal Love Mix Challenge. Believe it or not, that is a 17 as well. All right, so that was his submission, and like I said, his name is Muji56. He also has a very solid set. I do think that this is good enough for top 4. I don't think that he needs to redo it. I think that's going to cut it. Now, I believe that Fifems is either going to be beating Takasuke or he's going to be getting number 2. So that will move down Muji56 to number 3. And again, for the 3rd time, we're going to argue who's going to make top 4.
Oh man,
I don't know what to say about that.
This is actually the hardest one for me to judge. On one hand,
focus on.
On one hand, I want to say it'll be Jeff because I know that he's very, very competitive. But at the same time, I'm not sure if his doubles skills are able to cut it for top 4 with these kind of songs. After all, he started to struggle a bit last round. Now, I'm not sure if that was the best he could muster, but like last round, he wasn't able to break a AAA on B4U, which most of the other players did. He was, I think, finishing number 6, I think. So I'm not sure if that's because of that particular song or just once the difficulty gets 16 or higher, he can't, guarantee PFCs or, low grade counts. So for those reasons, I'm totally unsure if Jeff is able to make the 4th place. And then, on the other hand, T-Swag, someone who's an up-and-coming doubles player in America, he's totally surprised me. I know that he is already nearly AAA possession. I saw him post a picture with like a 988, and he said that he was really shocked, but he thinks that he can do even better. And if he can get over a 990 on possession and AAA the other 2 at the same time, he actually might have a chance. But then today I saw Kaze Hudson. He showed that he got a 992 on possession doubles, so he might be able to do this.
He's an interesting beast. I've seen videos of him playing. I've seen how.
And I've never seen him play doubles. But he's definitely under the radar. It's because he's really good at PFCing things. He's really, really good. But he doesn't always get the highest marvelous count. So
to be a contender for top 4, in my opinion.
So, I mean, for me, I think top 4, the 4th position is either going to go to Jeff, Kaze, or T-Swag. But then again, I really don't know much about LED minus D, LEG minus D, which is also an artist name, and Blur Tick. They could surprise me and submit something that completely throws off the scales.
I honestly don't really think that Jeff could make it into this one. Like, he might make number 5 because the way you're describing it with how he was last round, it just seems like there's just a whole nother world, doubles to singles, and I don't know, he might not hold up. I don't feel like.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it does turn out with that. But it could have also just been because of B4U. I mean, I only played it twice, and that's why, I mean, I finished dead last round, but that's because I had no interest in playing B4U Voltage anymore. I played it twice, and I'm like, nope, I'm just going to nope out of here. Nope.
All of those Groove Radar special charts, they are so stupid.
They're brutal on doubles, too. I mean, they spared no expense.
Yeah.
Especially Deggers.
Mm-hmm. All right, so fourth, so we agree that it's either going to be, so you would take priority towards Kaze 573 and T-Swag, would that be fair to say?
That sounds fair.
I guess so, yeah.
Be Takasuke. Number 2 for Fems. I'm actually go with Kaze. Because, like you said, he flies under the radar, and he has AAA.
I'm taking a look at the old board, see if we can get any more hits. So this was last time, because I really don't know much about the other two. Okay, I mean, it really comes down to, yeah, here's round 2, in case you guys aren't sure. Me being dead last. So for round 2, yeah, I mean, he had trouble, but he's definitely Kaze is doing a lot better on possession. So I think in Kaze's case, it was definitely
to take the number 3 spot.
This one. So yeah, I mean, the top 4 here, I can see them making it. Like LEG minus D, I'm not sure if you can do that. MA-wise, he's definitely not the best. He did okay on that, but he's definitely a lot better. It's such a hard.
Yeah, but like you said, get a PFC to get into the top 4.
There's only 5 players that were able to muster a 99 on that. And coincidentally, the other 3 players all managed a 988. All the other players managed a 988. So, like for Jeff, MA-wise, his MA was really quite good for the other 2 songs. The only issue was like the harder song. I really don't know. I can't make a decision. I give up. Final answers. David, what's your opinion? We're all setting out Taka Scary, Muji, and...
Let's sounds like a little robotic.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Ryan? We'll see if we can fix my mic. Ryan, what do you think?
I'm still broken.
And you might cut out. Say it again.
Takasuke.
Okay, Takasuke.
For top 4, you mean?
Yeah, so who's going to be the 4th? I think we all agree that it's going to be these 3. And then the question is, who's going to be the 4th?
Yeah.
Seems to always come down to number 4.
Yeah, it's the 4th person's the hard one to tell.
I thought I had my top 4s down, but as I was thinking about it, I can't say. I really...
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting, though, is because we really don't know. And I wish I did know, because that would help me prepare for planning the finals a lot better. Because I have to contact each of the top 4, and knowing where they are in the time zones is going to help me a lot. Alright, so I think we beat this topic to death, so I go up for round 3, round predictions, which I think is a perfect segue into our next topic. So for the next topic, we're going to be talking about the differences between East versus West. More specifically about the competitive nature between players in the East and players in the West. So who would like to open up and start talking about that?
I think I can open up on that.
Go for it.
Japan included, or Konami included the West, and with the competition. I feel that interaction between the East and West has generally improved when it comes to like players who are usually associated with ITG, especially Chris. He's been getting, especially recently with his close to MFCing Max Unlimited.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that.
He's going to do it pretty soon. He's definitely got a few goals, and that's one of them.
So like, I think had like a lot of experience and preparation for the upcoming inclusion of DDRA.
All right, but what do you think about the actual attitudes? Let's talk about it more in a journalistic sense. Do you think that the competition now has been healthy for the community as a whole, or do you think it's been separating and dividing people? Do you think that the inclusion of, especially, I would say that, I don't want to stereotype, but I do believe in Asia, a lot more of the, people are a lot more defensive about their scores, and they're shy to submit. For example,
I see it.
Like Idola is a perfect example. A lot of players who are capable of playing and participating in Idola chose not to qualify doing it. And surprisingly, I thought that the majority of our players would be in Asia, but I was turned out to be wrong. And after talking through my representatives in the Asian divisions, the consensus did seem to be that a lot of them were kind of just shy to put their scores out for the whole world to see.
Yeah, I feel like generally Idola has been a good thing for this sense, because I just look on like Twitter, for example, and I just see tons and tons of people from like Asia and then from America just sharing each other's scores and their tweets and just retweeting each other, and they're just all passing it all around. A lot of it in relation to the Idola songs, and I think just altogether it's just majorly improving.
That was one of the things. I had a lot of goals in designing Idola and involving the community and giving people a way to be on the same page and share something. It's it was really something I wanted to do. A lot of the tournaments, even online tournaments I've seen before, it's always either for one country or whatever. But I really wanted, with DDRA coming to the United States, and actually I planned this tournament a long time ago, but it wasn't until I found out that A would be for sure. It was last year in the summer when people said that the United States would be getting DDRA, that I decided to hold off to hold the competition, because I wanted my competition to be an inclusion of all regions with access. And I think that's
I feel in a way
so
the inclusion of a DDRA in North America kind of gave more of a kickstart. It's because they're finally getting what they want, and Konami's it's just like, it's something I never would have imagined, like even years ago.
I mean, years ago, I don't think a tournament like this would be
Have to
possible.
just rely on offline content.
A lot of this has been because of the recent advances in technology. I mean, this kind of thing is something I wish we could have done, but just it didn't really seem right until the past couple of years, where I believe that the way that the networking and the tools at my expense, were able to create something like this. So it's definitely been a thing in the making for sure. So we all agree that it's been a positive influence on the community as a whole for players. But like I was saying, I do think that maybe in some Asian circles, there is a possibility that they look at this and they're against the idea that Americans are sharing leaderboards or that they are, taking their scores and things like that. And it comes out more down to not because of DDR, but maybe just the mindsets as a whole, I believe.
Yeah, competition.
But in my opinion, I do think
That people
fair
in Japan would be like,
competition-
oh, these guys are good.
And competition is something I always admire because I never really mind when a player is better than me because I don't think no matter who you are, there's someone better than you at something. Like even Chris, well, okay, someone's better than him at doubles. I mean, even FIFA, it's okay, well, I'll kick his ass on the main easy songs. It's just like, no matter who you are, there's someone that's better than you at something. So
I think competition can be a great thing because it's like you just sort of have this image in your mind of like that person who is better than you, and just them going super crazy on DDR, and it just seems so unrealistic. But then when you're put in competition with them, you're able to sort of open up and sort of see them for the progress that they've made, and it just makes it seem so much more human and relatable.
And what I really like, and I really try to encourage, one reason I wanted everyone, I mean, people said, oh, I have no chance. The only way, like, Ryan was saying, like, oh, even I PFC'd all the songs, I didn't have a chance to get top 16. Well, even if that's the case, what I encourage you to do is compete with people around your level. You submit your score, you're number 15. Who's number 14? What's their score? Can you do that? So usually always try aiming for number 1 right off the bat. You should compare yourself to people around you and work off of that. That's how I got better. I just always looked at people who were around my level, and I'd say, okay, well, I'm in general better than them, but they're better than me at X, Y, and Z. And then I'll try to get better at X, Y, and Z. And then if I finally surpass that person, I'll find someone else. Like, okay, well, they're better than me at this. Okay, well, I'm better than them at this. Can be better than me at all of this. And then if they do it back to me, then we're going on,
Then everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. And becoming competitive like I did in the past few years has definitely made me a better player. Because I'm just trying to, match and because once you start getting records that you're proud of, and then you see people who are doing records that you did not get, it's like, oh, well, they can't get this record that I got, but they can get that record. And then you gotta ask yourself, well, why can they get that record, but I can get this record? It's like, okay, well, they can either practice more, they have more stamina, they have more skill, they have whatever it is. And then you can work out what it is.
Just do you.
Just try to do it. Do you, then you'll be stuck doing anything. If I just did me, I would never have improved. It's because I always look at other people and what's possible. Seeing what's possible makes me work harder, knowing that something is possible.
Yeah.
Because, for example, in a way, I'm really glad that Americans came over to the leaderboards, because, until then, the first few months, obviously, it was just Asia had access to DDRA, and, to be honest, I took, most records first try, no matter what. Like, even if I did my best or not, I took the record. And then it was more of a wake-up call when America got it, and they started getting a lot of records easier, and I'm like, oh wow, I guess I should work harder. So in a way, I was being lazier back then. So it kind of whipped my ass to get me back into shape. So I think that competition in general is a good thing. All right, so I think that we have moved on from this topic, which is time to thank our sponsors. And I'm proud to say that our sponsor for this evening, or afternoon, or morning, whenever you're watching it, is Project Idola on Indiegogo.
Surprise, surprise, we actually have a sponsor this time.
Oh yeah, which actually,
So it's safe to say, hey Derek, you found the sponsor.
oh yeah, we found the sponsor. Actually, we really did find the sponsor. Precision Dance Pads did agree to sponsor it. And Ryan, have you received your pad yet? You better say not, because if you
I
did,
have not.
I will kill you because I told you to take pictures as soon as you get it.
Nope, no mat yet.
Well, then that's good if you ask me. Here we go. Okay. Sorry about that hiccup. It should be good now. So as you guys know, the original campaign did wrap up, and we started an additional Project Idola follow-up fundraiser. This is for the people who missed out on the great perks. And this time around, we have some extra perks. And Dgraham, who's joining us today, is the only person who submitted. Come on, guys. Come on.
Am I still the only one who donated to that?
You certainly are. I don't think I've been picking this out well enough.
How has that not changed yet?
Well, I don't think I've done a live stream since we've launched this, and usually at the beginning of a live stream, I'll tape it out.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about this before we started.
Gotta give
but
some more
I ordered the
exposure.
graphic, and it just came in, and it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely, I'm picking it out.
That's awesome.
Now. So the project follow-up, the project Idola follow-up, we have mostly the same. Some of them are gone. For example, a lot of you snatched up that Rosani e-amusement signed the amusement pass. So that's gone. But we tried to accommodate more things, which is what Dgraham did, and I'll show you. So again, if you pledge $5, which I always click on it, why do I do that? If you click on it, even if you don't click on the, it's annoying. It's really annoying. And you go change that. I clicked on the text. I didn't click here. And what's the point? That even highlights when I go there. What's the point of doing that? Even if I click there, it takes me and says, okay, I'm going to stop ranting. So $5 is going to get your name on the Idola poster featured here. Your name will go down here, your name of your choosing. A $10 donation will give you a Project Idola pin. The pin designs are as follows here. A new perk that we have this time around is the special custom digital design. Now, I think we can all agree that the artwork for Project Idola has been phenomenal. I am very pleased with the person who's been doing all of our graphics. His name is Lee. He also goes by, I will screw it up, he also goes by TDSP. And he's been doing all my graphics for everything you see here. He's done a fantastic job. If you would like him to make a graphic for you, your YouTube channel, your Twitter handle, your Xenius Vanisher or profile pic, whatever you want, $10, he'll do it for you. If you ask me, that is an insanely good value. That is an incredible deal. And if more people understand...
So you're getting more bang for your buck, in my opinion.
Well, it's definitely...
In fact, I'm uploading all my handles with the graphics I just got now, so if you're watching the replay of this, then you can go check out my channel and see what kind of good stuff you're in for if you order that perk.
Yeah, and he definitely has a page, which I think it's linkable. Yeah, he has a Tumblr. Don't worry, he's not a social justice warrior feminist, but he's got a Tumblr for his artwork. And if you want to see some of his artwork that he's been doing, it's all here. And I think we can agree, he's done a phenomenal job. He's done a fantastic job. This is just some of the designs he's been making. And if you would like something like this, all you need to do is tell him what you would like or what, and he will create it for you. Okay, so that takes care of that.
Awesome.
Moving up to $20 is going to give you an Idola poster with your name on it, of course. $20 for request set for FIFAs, and this time around we will accept DDR singles, doubles, or pump it up. Another $20 will give you an I'm Christopher Life request set. There's only 2 more left. 3 of them were already snatched up during the last campaign. The new one is a $20 signed amusement pass from I Am Christopher Life. Last time we did Rosani, those are gone. But if you'd like a signed pass from I Am Christopher Life, this is the perk for you. All the ones I've already mentioned, shipping is all included, mind you. The Idola t-shirt will cost you just $30, including shipping, which is probably going to make me have a huge loss, which that's my own issue, so don't worry about that. $45 and you get the t-shirt and Idola poster combo, $50 for the t-shirt, poster, and pin, and the $100 voucher for the dance pad from Precision Dance Pads. It's the custom limited edition Project Idola dance pad. Ryan is the only person who's gotten one so far, so that leaves 9 more available. So claim it soon, or forever hold your peace.
Oh, sorry.
Record it just to see how well it works, and I'm really excited. These are good.
Presume that they have gotten some good reviews. For one, you don't have any options today, so if you want to hold mats, your options are slashed. But the good news is the options that you do have are pretty decent, and from what I've heard, they've done good. I've not tried it myself, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good. Now, of course, you get the $100 voucher off, but it costs $100. So you're like, well, that's stupid. Why would I do that? Well, two reasons. One, it's a T-shirt for free. So you're basically getting the pad and you're getting a T-shirt. And on top of that, it's a custom design. He's not going to make this available. It's only available during this period. And I think we all agree that is sexy as all hell. Come on, I mean, just
Awesome.
look at it.
My God. It's just...
Yeah.
Just, Ryan, can you please promise us you will not pull a Kyle with his sound effects?
Oh, no.
No. I mean, it's sexy enough already. We don't want to get blocked from YouTube.
It's sexy enough already. I can't even, get ready. I'm already done in my pants before I even get it ready. I don't know. That's, I'm gonna cut that out.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting tired. Okay, actually, I'm gonna leave that in because whatever. If you guys have been watching this long, you deserve some outtakes. So that's all my plugs. So that is taken care of. Thank you for doing it. Now we're going to move on to our next topic. Our next topic is more of a broader topic about the future of DDR, the content, the charts, maybe how it's going to do in the United States, etc. So how about Dgraham? How would you like to open up? What do you feel the future is going to be? Which I'll just start by saying that I'm glad that there is a future. DDRA means that there is a future. A lot of the people thought that DDRA was going to end, which is why we got such a lack of content in the end of 2014 and 15, minus the RDI event, which that might be a future thing too. But DDRA was symbolizing the fact that DDR is still alive and well, and we're moving forward. So we know that DDR is going to continue. And what do you think the future holds? Dgraham, discuss.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with what you're saying. Like with the end of DDR 2014, with over the period, and then moving on with ACE, just the whole progressiveness of that. Mostly what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a level 20, because in the sense of difficulty, that's when I'm really interested in seeing if they're going to come about. And I'm not really sure what else to think of it. Yeah. What else do you think? I can only think of level 20 right now.
A subset of that is here's a quick question for both of you.
Like so many tangents on how they.
What would be the equivalent rating? What would be the equivalent rating of a level 20 in DDR to an ITG chart? The way I always saw it was like by the time you get to level 17 in DDR, that's like a level 12 in ITG. Level 18 is closer to like level 13 in ITG. And then I guess level 14 is like a 19 in ITG. So I guess just going by that, I think it would be okay to say that level 15 would be equivalent to a DDR level 20.
Yes, yeah.
And knowing how hard ITG 15s are, the economic FR's team is going to match the quality.
Well, that's the thing. The quality is very important to mention because I think that we can all agree that, at least in ITG, most of the songs, they're charted in a certain way that the difficulty is hard to compare. Like, comparing Valkyrie Dimension to an ITG chart is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, because I don't know.
It's like apples to oranges.
Like, the difficulty is not in I don't even know how to describe it, but it should be blatantly obvious.
Because I'm thinking if they're looking for that kind of ITG difficulty, that's going to be hard because there is a different philosophy with like writing harder songs. Like with ITG, it's pretty much just go crazy with the tricky patterns, but and maybe just charts in general, just
I disagree. Once you get up to 15s and 19G, there's no tricky patterns. It's all about foot speed and stamina.
But
Yeah.
how,
Yeah, I guess
how long a song is, how fast it is, how much pattern is put into it. It's
I mean, you look at a beast like over the
Tell the
period
difference.
challenge. I mean, it's so unbelievably technical. Just you really got to study it if you want to do well on it. Is all I can say to you.
you have to know that chart inside and out.
Well, where like I could pick any random 15.
Be in the best of shape to go through.
I could play any random 15 in ITG and do just fine, basically. Because well, not just do fine, but I mean, I don't really need to know much about it before selecting it. I already know that there's not going to be some bullshit contorting crossovers or switching my forge, or I got to start, crossed over. I know it's going to be a straightforward experience.
In a way, it could be considered ingenious, because what if Konami actually knows what they're doing and actually ambiguity into their step chart rating, whereas having ITD charts.
I definitely prefer difficulty coming from ambiguities than from just physical feats. I don't mind a mixture of both, but I do have more respect because it's not so impressive in ITG once you get up to like 18s, 19s, 20s, 21s, 2s. I mean, it's just really about just technique and foot speed and stamina. I mean, which is definitely commendable, but like you take into no account about how technical. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're getting excellence or good or decent. Just all that goes out the window. All they care about is
I have no idea how they're gonna tackle this. Like, all I can say though is if the anniversary of DDR.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. So, future DDR, I absolutely think that we're definitely closer to a 20 than ever. It's going to be bound. The only question is if it's coming on DDR8 or not. They have not been too extreme with hard charts. There has not been any new 18s in DDR8. Let's keep that in mind.
What makes it also
so
really
talking about, we've got only two 17s, I believe, unless you count. No, only two 17s. New Century and the newest one that just came out. There's only two 17s.
In a technical sense, egoism was bumped from a 17 to an 18.
Well, but that was out, and everyone agreed with me a long time ago.
Technically, that was an 18.
It's one of the hardest 18s.
I know, it's like
It's ridiculous.
several 18s, but when I tried egoism on Expert for versus Silent Home, I knew there was something wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I only passed it a couple times on extra stage back on DDR 2014, but that was the only way to unlock over the period. Eventually, no, max period, yeah. So, okay, what about anything else? Do you guys want to see more challenge charts? Do you want to see more? What kind of charts do you want to see? Like, give me some examples.
Actually, what I want to see expanded on is I want to expand on the whole idea of making challenge charts for songs that not necessarily to have an extra spike of difficulty, but a challenge chart like sort of like Smooch Challenge or like that one song we were talking about before on the double challenge chart.
So like
where
creative challenge charts.
Metric sort of like idea.
I mean, they've already done this, so I would agree that they should keep doing this. As in, but by that I mean, it's already been cleared since DDR Extreme that the challenge chart does not always have to be harder. You got Sakura Challenge, which is way easier, but then you got PSMO, Paradise Ride Max Challenge, which is way harder. So challenge never dictates if the song is going to be harder or easier. And since DDR X1, they started making it where the challenge usually was a shock arrow chart, which is fine and all. But I do like the idea that not every challenge chart has to be harder than the expert. And by the way, if you guys hear some extra sounds, it's raining
Not sure, especially the shocks are kind of novelty. I think the most recent one was especially with the doubles, how you're stretching your legs, like.
It seems like Konami has given up on shock arrow charts. They've been quite. It hasn't been a lot recently. So yeah, that's it.
Unless the 20 has shocks.
Oh my god, can you imagine if the first... You want to see a level 20?
Help us all.
You want to see a level 20? Just edit over the period challenge with some shock heroes.
The funny thing is,
if you do a plural first, I was just going to quickly say, if you
with shocks, and it was so hilarious.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
I didn't see it, but basically that'll be a 20. Just like
there was like huge wall of shocks.
It still doesn't look as hard as over the period challenge, but it's like come on now, it's over the period with shock errors.
It's definitely like you were the first. That was a 17 on expert, and we can all agree that taking away arrows and putting in shocks, it made it a clear 18 on challenge. So the same respect, if you take the 19 over the period challenge and you remove some arrows and replace them with shocks,
I'm able to pass Pluto the first, but when it comes to scoring, no.
Yeah, well, welcome to the club, I'm just saying.
Cannot score well in that zone.
Yeah, neither can I.
Only a handful of 16s I can pass, so...
Well, 16.
And I'm fat now.
Well, as long as you can pass PSMO, then you can say you can pass all over Extreme.
In general, more Konami originals. It's like, I was surprised to see come to life. Like, I did not expect that at all. Like,
I still
expect them to make an original. More extra saviors. Oh, even more default.
The only thing I want to see
Stuff that you don't need.
I want them to start giving challenge charts to the new DDR songs. It's been 6 months. I think that they can start rolling out challenge charts by now. And besides, I mean, there's no real particular songs that I'm hoping for, some kind of genre I'm hoping. I mean, I'm pretty simple, to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty simple to satisfy. I don't really have too many complaints. The complaints I do have, I make them well known.
Wish that they would cut back on V-Manic crossovers, though, and just focus more on some originals. But, hey, if crossovers...
Well, I mean, crossovers are so easy. I mean, it's their in-house DJs. It costs nothing for them to do it, so you can't really blame them. But I do think that we're getting stagnation to the point where there's way too many songs in charts. I almost want to radically, just cut a lot of portion of the songs moving forward, because, I mean, the way I do and the way I don't. But I want people to have more of a concise idea of what DDRA is, because I don't know how to describe it really.
And I think if they're just so stubbornly sticking on the idea of just doing crossovers, I think it goes back to further alienating the American players. Just back on how they're cutting off songs, most likely because of what you said about how it needs to do multiple V-Money games.
Well, not all events do that. They did the Babylon event earlier this summer, where all you had to do was play songs, and depending on your score and what song you played, you got more steps. So that was a completely in-game event. But this is
it's possibly the easiest unlock event in DDR history as well, because all I have to do is just play lots of rounds of DDR.
It's very reminiscent of the Zunikin, where you gotta stop on the arrows and make it fly and break the planets. That was on Super Nova 2. That's really old. I have videos of it. But yeah, it's definitely, it's just as easy as that. But yeah, so we have that topic covered, I believe. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about for the future content, charts, anything else?
Good.
So yeah, just for me, it really comes down to just add some more challenge. I don't really need more songs. I would rather have more charts than more songs. I'll just say that. Alright, and now we're going to talk about the success of DDR in the West, if it's been successful. And this is where you guys are really going to come into play, because I am not in the West. I really don't know how successful it is. When you go into the arcades now, is there always a huge line of people? Is there, what's the wait time? What's the atmosphere like? Go for it.
I don't think I'll be able to help you with this one with DDR
initially.
We never played it.
When I went to Dave & Buster's, that the first week that DDRA was available, it got hundreds. It's like, of course it's going to be successful, but I didn't expect to see a lot of consistency.
Yeah, I mean, of course in your game will have...
Everywhere, say, like on Facebook, people are posting scores and just having a good time with DDRA. It's just like...
Well, you have to you also have to take into account
awakening.
These select arcades. I know a lot of players that they play at the same location. So there might be some arcades that are not as full.
Reports of Times Square Dave & Buster's having like a good line for DDRA.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's Times Square got.
Fascinating.
That's great. If I visit New York next year, I'll definitely check that out as well. So you agree that
it's a good experience.
So DDR in the West has been successful, both in the eyes of old players and what about newer? That's what I'm more curious about. Do you feel that there's a lot of new people coming into the community, or do you think that it's only people who are returning over the woodwork?
It's kind of hard to say. Revolution more, since people would if Konami actually give the EMU support. With places like Dave & Buster's in round one, it's like people are coming in. You're surprised to see how well machines play, and seeing Western licenses. That's
that was the big shock, and I was surprised that they did that, but I'm definitely disappointed that they are not going to keep going in that path. I believe that those 8 songs are the only 8 songs that we're going to get for American licenses. I would not mind if they cut them and replaced them with new ones. It'll kind of be like a fresh rotation.
I was actually kind of surprised to see the one.
Sorry, Ryan.
I thought it was just going to be.
Say it again. You cut out.
Yep. Sorry about that. Showed up in the East as well. It's so kind of like how Asia has their own exclusive content. Like, it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
Even though they're not as popular.
I wonder if Americans would not mind so much if all the Western licensed songs were cut in Asia. I think that that'd be a good compromise, right? But I think that we can all agree that cutting on either end is never a good move. So
hope there's more Western licenses in the future. For the time being, hold off for now.
All right. Which brings us into our final topic, and it's more of a personal topic that I'd like your guys' input. And that is NFC 300? Question mark. So, the people who follow me or who know pretty much anything about me is I'm creeping up very slowly but surely on NFC number 300. I believe, I should double check it. I'm at 297 MFCs. Now, I've definitely made it my prerogative in the past month to try to avoid getting MFCs. I've purposely tried to avoid it. I was trying to wait till Idola passes. and then try to get to 299. But I'm in a very rough situation. I'll explain it in detail later. But first of all, let's just hear it from you guys. I do currently have the highest MFC count out of anyone, though I do believe that Jeff is getting for me, and he's probably going to pass me up. And I might be able to fight him back once I break through. Once I break 300, I'll go back to just trying to MFC everything like crazy. But until then, I've obviously slowed down quite a bit. But the question is, what should I do about MFC number 300? Go.
Max 300, max 300, max 300. No, I'm just kidding. In all honesty, or mentally you'd be if you just try to push through playing max 300 only on special 300. It's like, if you want to, that's perfectly okay, but
So you're cutting out a little bit at the end. Let's try it again.
yeah, I just if you're trying to do max 300 as the MFC.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so I should try max 300, and I'm going to assume that DGraham, what's your opinion?
Yeah, pretty much. Max 300 is is the consistency when it comes to that. Yeah, just pretty much the same thing. I don't. I mean, at this point, nobody has gotten it yet, have they? Like,
no, the closest is Chris. I believe Chris got it down to 2. Like in progression, it was something, and then I played around 8, and I got like 10, and then like Jeff got 7, and then I got 5, and then Chris got 2, and then I haven't played it since. Well, I've played it since, but I'm really not looking forward to it. I mean, it's such a secret, non-secret. I'll just say it. I mean, yes, my plan is to go for max 300 for number 300. It's been my plan since I first noticed how quickly I was accumulating MFCs starting in April and May. And I realized that I'm going to be hitting 300. And I did predict that I'd hit it around November. And actually, if I would have continued at the rate I was, I would have even hit it in September, but I purposely slowed down. Now, with that said, 300 is an unbelievable. I'm going to state this very clear. If I get it, it will be the hardest MFC I've ever gotten. Period. I've MFC'd 4 15s. I have 4 level 15 MFCs. But if I were to get max 300, that would absolutely be my hardest MFC, hands down. The amount of difficulty,
more power to you.
The amount of difficulty to get the MFC on max 300 is almost asinine, to be honest. There are so many parts that completely can ruin it. And the 2 parts are so obvious, which are the step after the freeze, and then the last part. I mean, the last, 13 arrows are a complete nightmare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that part is a complete nightmare with any consistency. I can never guarantee a marvelous run on those last 13 steps.
I'm just speaking this like as a musician, just having to go through like a whole feel of like those straight 1, 2, 3, 4s, and then immediately into like 3. Like
Yeah,
I can
transition.
That could be super hard.
A lot of people don't even factor that in, because that entire part, including, because there's a mini stream, right? The transition between that into the green 12s, whatever you want to call them, the transition is really rough, and even if you get the transition, you're still jacking it at 312s.
Yeah.
Which I believe is 200. It would be the same as if there was a 225 BPM song and you get 8 notes. It would be the same as that. So imagine it would be a Arrabbiata triplets. Or not triplets, but jacks. It would be 3 Arrabbiata jacks. So think about the speed of Arrabbiata.
Foot switch them.
Well, it's hard to do foot switches on the right and the left. So let's just be honest here. Which I can do, but it's not really
Right
easy.
and left, and foot switching the top and the bottom.
I have a much easier time doing that than the right and the left. Okay, yeah, max 300 is definitely my goal. The way I was thinking about it was doing 300 attempts for 300. I will stream, or at least record all 300 attempts. And whether I succeed or fail, I can probably make a montage about it later, where I just like, I have like number 1, and then I show you where I fucked up on the song. And then number 2, show you where I fucked up.
If you post that video, that's definitely going to max 300 hell on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be like that's gonna be pinned on there. I can see it. Well, probably not.
And I can see it taking me 300 hours to create that video, okay?
Good.
I
Doing that.
I can save,
You want
I
to do
can
that
save a
going
lot of
forward.
time. I can definitely save a lot of time if I cut immediately and I leave out all god damn it, shit. I can save a lot of time if I leave those out.
Mm.
But all joking aside, let me tell you why 300 is such a stressful event right now. There's 3 things riding on 300 right now. I'm at 297. Now, my lower Idola set is confident enough that I'm going to get top 4. However, I still want to MFC each one of those songs, and as you know, there are 3 songs there. The reason why I want to MFC them and I want to do it now is because they're in my mind. If I don't MFC them and I move on, I will probably never revisit those 3 songs. Never. So it's like either I MFC them now or I'll never MFC them. I will just leave them at 1, and I will never have the motivation to go back and
Just
MFC to MFC them again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
Because right now I have motivation because MFCing
like
them.
you'd be like a personal jinx if you didn't, you know?
And actually, this is kind of, I never said this, but if you look at all the KAC qualifiers in the past, my rule was whether I make it or not, no matter what, whatever 3 songs they select, I will beat my record on it. That was always my rule. It's, no matter what, because I know that this is the time that I will play these songs the hardest. So no matter what, I will beat my record during this time. So that was my mindset when it came to KAC. And Idola is basically the same, where we have these 3 songs. Beforehand, my records were 3. I think I had 3 on Centaur. I had 4 on Flow, and I had 3 on Habibi. Now, I've already accomplished that by getting 1 on each of them. However, 1 is so close to an MFC that, I mean, it's obvious. I can't MFC each one of those. And if I don't MFC them now, it'll be a missed opportunity. However, we both know that we cannot, we all know that we cannot just MFC all of them now, because that would make 300. So that's a hard choice. Now, my choice got even harder yesterday when I found out that there are 3 songs being cut. We already mentioned that. I said I'll talk about it again later. And the reason why I'll talk about it again later is that those 3 songs, well, one of them has 2 charts, and the other song I didn't MFC. So there's a total of 3 charts I have not MFC'd, and those songs will be removed on November 6th. And I absolutely need to MFC those before they are removed, because I'll never have another chance.
So do you know what songs they are yet, or no?
Yes, I do. You can definitely look at it. If you look at some of the forms right now, it shouldn't be too hard to do. I prefer not changing to browser view, but I guess I can. Okay, fine. What's up? I believe it's on our DDR players. Here we go. You guys can see it, because I'm sure that people have posted about it, and we will do it. I'm looking. And I'm looking and I'm not finding it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to load a lot, so I'm going to do Control Find, and I'm going to type in remove. And I found it, because I'm a genius. Alright, actually no, it is, 3 songs. So we have Future Gazer, and I do believe that I have MFC'd both charts, which I should definitely double check. And then we have Straight Jet, and then we have the Roy's song, where they're jumping up and down. These challenge and expert chart I did not get, and I did not get straight jet. So there's 3 MFCs right there. And I must get them before November 6th. And I think that this time is wrong. Can you see it? Is that too small?
It's too small. Who made the post? I'm looking on Facebook.
KP something. There you go. Look at the time.
I think those 3 chart songs are listed on Xenius Advantage, the front page as well.
Okay.
Alright, so that is my hard choice to do right now. Should I focus on improving my MFCs a lot? So the best option is, okay, fine, I just do it, and I stop at 299, and then I get max 300, and then I get the other ones too before November 6th.
No, I see them. I see the songs are being removed. Yeah.
Really awesome to say that you max MFC max 300 on your 300th, but I think it would be that will
The way that I
find
see
out
it,
later.
probably what I would do, actually I don't even know. I think that next time I go to the arcade, I will get both of the memories that, whatever that song's called, by Roy's. I'll get the expert and challenge next time I go to the arcade. After I got that, I will just grind max 300, grind max 300, grind max 300. And if I can't get it, then I'll clean up straight jet before November 6th. And then people will say, boo, boo. Alright, so max 300 question mark is indeed a question mark. We'll just have to wait to see if that does happen or not.
Wait for the future.
Alright, so that does complete our topics. Now, Brian and David, before we go, is there anything else we'd like to talk about? Any more plugs you would like to do for your channels, etc., etc.? Or you can be mute. Anyone, anything.
I can't really think of it.
Alright, Ryan, you got anything? We definitely did go over time, which is okay, but in the future, for you guys at home, we would like to try to keep it around an hour, so it's a little better for your listening. But I do think that we covered the topics well, and we had a lot of tangents. But for a first podcast, I think I'm okay with it. I think that overall, all said and done, we did a pretty good job. So virtual high fives around.
Definitely. Maybe have some more people in here, like Burnout. But
Yeah, I was trying to get Kyoto involved in this hangout actually, but he was a little busy. He went to sleep because he's a pansy.
Oh, you know, it seemed pretty convenient having this specific talk because I think Ryan and I are in the same time zone, I believe, and then to have other people like Burnout or Kyoto, it would probably be a mess when it comes to that.
But I mean, we can always try to figure out a way, because at least in my case,
it all depends on our schedule as well.
My schedule is
Yeah.
just completely opposite recently, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we're going to end it here. So for you guys at home, thanks for joining us for the first DDR podcast. And I would like to again thank our guests, Dgraham, aka David, and xRGTMx. TM, okay?
Good.
Okay, Ryan. Alright, thank you. And they also have some interesting request sets coming up, so keep an eye out for those. They're pretty, should I say, cynical about their sets. They're definitely reaping in my pain, so stay tuned for those sets. And yeah, again, thanks for watching, everyone. So I'll sign off and say goodbye to everyone.
Nice.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. See y'all.
Alright guys, we'll catch you on the next DDR podcast, probably next month. We'll try to keep it to a monthly schedule, but no promises because my schedule's always hectic. Alright guys, peace.